Hi everyone, welcome to Over 50 and Broke. This is my first video on this channel, and I've contemplated making this video for a while. I hesitated because, you know what, I don't want to let the world know what a failure I really am, and the embarrassment that goes along with that. While ideally I would love to probably, make a sit down chatty video, I have to confess I'm just not that brave yet. So I decided, because I do want to start my story, I want to start it off, I want to get it out there. I made the decision to do it in a voiceover format, just so that I could get started. And I believe that as time goes on, I'll work up the courage to record myself in video discussing my journey. Now let's jump right into the topic at hand. As the video title states, Over 50 and Broke. I'm 52 years old, broke, and on the verge of being homeless. Well, technically, I kind of was already homeless, am homeless. But when I say that out loud, it really makes me feel raw inside. I feel so defeated, asking myself each and every day, how did this happen? This wasn't supposed to happen to me. Not me. I worked hard. I did the best that I could within my means, but still, here I am, unable to fix this. Why can't I fix this? I have always been able to find a solution. In later videos, I think I'll go back and discuss in detail some of the past circumstances that I was able to successfully navigate. But my current circumstance, I would say it started probably 6 years ago, and with a steady decline, I've been living in crisis mode since then. In August of this year, 2023, I became a casualty of the high interest rates, and I was forced to sell my home. The weeks leading up to the home sale, those were meager times. I remember I only had money to do what was necessary. My first and second mortgage were both behind almost 3 months, not to mention all my other bills. After selling my home, I knew the only option for me would be to rent somewhere, rent a location. Needless to say, I didn't have any money to secure a rental home before the sale because I just didn't have the money. I had friends that had already loaned me money in the months before, and that money I had already used to catch up on some payments so that it wouldn't fall to collection. I was at all costs, I was trying to avoid any of my stuff going to collections. And I knew if they passed that 3-month mark, they would be in collections. So I had very nice friends that helped out. I was fortunate and very thankful. The house sold in just 4 weeks after being listed, and it closed quickly just 30 days after. So, myself and my two kids, who by the way are 20 and 25, we went to a hotel. I never imagined that we would not be able to secure a rental. There was nothing available, and what was available was so very expensive. And of course, it required that you have spotless credit, and of course, it required that you show employment. Yeah, something I couldn't do anymore, because on top of everything else, I lost my job. It was a work from home job, so after the sale, because I didn't have the ability to plug into work, because I was in the hotel, I lost my job. So I was essentially homeless and jobless. After spending enormous amounts on hotels for nearly 3 weeks, I was able to locate short-term rental that I could pay month to month. And this is where I resided. I am residing until today, more than 3 months after selling my home. But I have got to tell you, these short-term rentals are extremely expensive. With me having everything in storage and paying the storage fee and renting a furnished short-term rental, the cost has been enormous. I still hadn't located employment, and I really at this point have no money left to pay for another 30 days in this short-term rental. It's really such a hard pill to swallow, knowing that I raised my kids as a single mother and was always able to find a solution, because the Lord always made a way for me every time. I am trying to hold on to the faith that has always kept me through, even on the hardest days. But I know I'm probably going to have to accept that everything is gone, and that is a hard one to swallow. It wasn't much, mind you, but it was something, and I worked hard to buy my home and to save money towards my pension and to build my credit, but now it's all gone. My home, my savings, my credit, my job, all gone and on the brink of living on the street. This economy has decimated so many people. I know there are so many stories out there of loss and so many having to start over. I can honestly say for the first time in my life, there is no plan. I spend my days searching job sites, and I've started writing a blog. But the daily worry is debilitating. So in those moments, I try to revert to my faith and pray from my heart, accepting that my deliverance from this may not be in my timing, but in His. Dealing with the emotional toll that this has taken has been indescribable. I've gone through bouts of depression,
bouts of just uncontrollable crying, times where I can't eat. And I know I can stand to lose a couple pounds, but believe it or not, as much as I, sometimes just push my food away, I honestly have not lost even a pound because I have other health issues that I'm battling at this time. And the stress, well, what the stress does to you, just the anxiousness of not knowing where or what is going to be, it's indescribable. But regardless of that fact, and regardless of where I am in this very moment, my aim is to keep trying. I have raised my kids on my own, and I have gone through so many things. And I'm a strong woman. And although right now I'm feeling weak, I'm feeling beaten down, I'm feeling alone, I'm feeling like society has essentially just allowed me to fall through the cracks. A 52-year-old woman that has no job. And it is hard enough under normal circumstances, but in this economy, at my age, and with my skill set, it almost feels as if the jobs for me just no longer exist. Because it seems as if, I'm at that age where, there's plenty of younger people who will fill roles, and even the smallest and the simplest of role, I seem to be too qualified for, overqualified for. And, in the interviews, I get questioned, okay, you've managed for years and you've done this and you've done that. Why are you applying for this? So I'm constantly having to explain myself when really all I want to say is I'm applying for this because I need something. I need to work. I need an income. And, when sense is that just not enough for a company? That regardless of what a person used to do or what their skill set is, and why is it not enough that you just need to work? You just need an income to survive. I spent 20 years managing and supervising in various roles. I managed as much as 3 teams at one time. And now it is just hard for me to believe that I can't even get the simplest of roles. And, it really is a blow to the ego. It really is something that, brings you to the brink of depression because you know that you can do better. But in all those years of managing and supervising, I was so focused on the job, on building something,
and, building something for my kids that I neglected myself because the focus was taking care of my two kids at home, and I neglected my health. And now I struggle with multiple ailments that limit the amount of my options for different jobs. So I primarily look for work from home jobs or work that I can do part-time outside of the home. And because of the limitations, it has placed an even more difficult, making a situation that's already hard, making it even more difficult. I look back and I never went on trips. The last time I went on a plane was 17 years ago when my father passed away. And I have not stepped foot on a plane since. It has just been work and hustle and take care of my kids and do the best that I can to build a life for us. The only trips my kids can recall growing up are weekend trips that we would take to Wasaga Beach or to Niagara Falls, and that was the extent of it. I never spent money frivolously, and here we are. I do have some side hustles that I started some many years ago, and a couple that I started just maybe a year or two ago. And while none of them have really taken off the way that I would have hoped, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to put a little bit more elbow grease into that. I've recently started a blog, and in between the job searches and whatnot, I sit and try to write for the blog and see if I can change the script, create my own income rather than depending on others to provide that, depending on other sources to provide that income. Feel like it's late in life and don't want to say that I regret anything, because the decisions I made for a reason, and I don't regret the years I spent in those jobs, building them my career, and it was feeding my kids, and it provided the stability that I needed for them while I was raising them. Nobody could have fathomed that things would have taken a turn the way that it did, and other choices would have to be made now. But here I am, and I'm trying to look forward and trying to turn this situation around. With this channel, I'm hoping to take you along on my journey. A journey of a single woman over 50 starting from complete scratch, starting from the bottom. And, you're going to see my successes and my failures. In my next video, I'll give you, some more backstory, and maybe the next few videos will provide you with more detailed explanations as to the progression that brought us to this point. Because it wasn't just the pandemic and the rise in interest rates and the rise in cost of living. It sort of all started before that, and it was just sort of a ricochet effect, and a domino effect. That's the line I'm looking for, of circumstances that ended up where we are today. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this one here, and I look forward to bringing you all along on my journey. And my hope is that, somebody somewhere, will probably not feel as alone as, these kinds of circumstances can inevitably make you feel. And, just find a way through. So until the next video, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Talk to you next time.